We asked Randy Meisner what he really thought of his replacement in Poco and the Eagles, Timothy B. Schmit. I'm John Beaudin from rockhistorymusic.com. Here is more from our lost interview with Randy Meisner.
He just keeps following me around. Really nice guy. Yeah, I mean, at the the Hall of Fame, he made such a nice remark. Just giving me all the best and telling, people like Randy's done most of all this work. And it was so honest and so nice.
One of the guys here, Dave Welch, was telling me, I was telling him you were going to call, and he says Poco was like the farm team for the Eagles.
Yeah. Well, Poco kind of started the whole thing, along with the Byrds, and like Bernie Ledden and the Burrito Brothers and stuff, kind of in the front runners of like the country rock thing kind of going down.
Yeah, that was an amazing force. All those bands were just an amazing force, and when people look back in the history of the music, I mean, they're always mentioned. I look at singer-songwriters now, and I see them all influenced by those styles, whether it's women singer-songwriters or males.
Well, I think a lot of it, years and years later, like the Nashville scene, that was a lot of like what the Eagles did. What a lot of the Nashville players are doing. And they're good, but my God, I can't see how they write so many songs so fast.
Oh, yeah.
My God, they have an idea like one night, the next day the record's out.
Yeah.
So fast. They do an album in like a day.
I was talking to, who was it? He used to do New Age music, John Jarvis. He played with Vince Gill. And I tracked him down a couple of years ago because we were doing a top 100. And one of his New Age albums or something was really big here. When we were doing that, we don't do it anymore. But I tracked him down, and he said exactly the same thing. He says, man, it's like a machine here. He lives in Nashville.
Oh, God. Like they call it the cookie cutter.
Is that right?
Just bam, bam, bam. Here they are. So fast and so good, the musicians down there. Like, there's a guy I'm trying to think of his name now. John Hobbs plays piano. He's like one of the main session players down there, and I used him on my first album. And my first album that I did alone after the Eagles, I called it like a scattergun because I wanted to do every kind of song thinking that one of them would hit. I didn't have any continuity, to the album. It was just like every song was kind of different. I did like, If You Want to Be Happy for the Rest of Your Life, like an old, remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
You want to be
happy for the rest of your life.
Make an ugly woman your wife, yeah.
Yeah.
But that was a song from high school I always loved. And so I just did all kinds of songs. I had John Hobbs and like really good players on this album. Ernie Watts, he used to play with the Johnny Carson band. He's just the best sax player in the world. And just all kinds of players. It was so good. The players were. The album was like kind of like, you just gotta take a deep breath and say, well, this is kind of fun, But the second one, like with Eric Kaz and Wendy Waldman with Hearts on Fire, that was Val Garay that produced that. And that one I felt was my best, on my own. And then the next one was like with Michael Flicker, who did Heart. And I had Nancy Wilson and we did a song like Strangers that Elton John wrote. And there's some good music on there. But Michael Flicker wanted to make me more of like a hard rock player. And so, I was just going with producers, and I did okay, and it was fun. But I realized I didn't want to be a solo artist at that point. And then after that, I worked with Rick Roberts from Firefall.
I loved his vocals in Firefall.
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
And we played together for, maybe 3 or 4 years. We did a lot of small clubs, this and that. And then later on, I got into a group called Meisner, Rich, and Swan, which was me and Billy Swan, like I Can Help.
Yeah, I remember that.
And Alan Rich, his dad, behind closed doors, Charlie Rich. And we had a good group, and it's an album that I'm going to send you. It just was released in Japan.
Okay.
And so I got to get a CD.
Well, I noticed on your first solo album, one of the things that I noticed, the first track was written by J.D. and Glenn Frey.
Badman?
Yeah.
The one that got on that, there's a movie called FM, and that's when I was still with Irving Azoff as my manager, which handled the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
And so he got that song on like the FM movie.
I remember that.
Which was really fun. J.D. Souther, I think. I didn't know if maybe Glenn did write on that too. I need love, baby, so do you. Don't be mean to you, bad man.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. You didn't write any songs other than Take It to the Limit on that, right?
No. No, I had no idea. I was just, like I said, scattergun. Just every song I kind of liked. And Alan Brackett helped me out, the producer. He had a couple of, different writers and stuff that we did some songs. But I just wanted to make an album on my own.
Yeah, I enjoyed that album. I like that album.
Oh, that's really good to hear.
I remember buying it and thinking, there he is, because I didn't know where you went. I had no idea, So yeah, I remember having a few too many and inviting my friends over and having them listen to it, you know.
All right.
I recently had the pleasure of talking to another nice guy like Randy Meisner, Rick Roberts, who was one of the two lead singers for Firefall during their heyday. Actually, Rick sang all of their hits. Randy Meisner and Rick Roberts also played together, so I asked him about that.
He's a great writer, and I just, he's been, writing some stuff and trying to get things together for himself. And
well, you guys would sound really good together, I would think. You both.
Yeah, he's a great singer and great writer. Good friend, too.
We'll have more from our lost interview with Randy Meisner coming up next week. Make sure you share our videos, comment on our videos, and subscribe to our channel.